That was a whole lot of different words that made no sense together. Hello and welcome to the fourth episode of the Hooked on Owls Knit and Crochet podcast. Welcome back to all the returning viewers, and hello to anyone joining us for the first time today. My name is Lacey. I'm from Carroll, Michigan in the United States. You can find me on Ravelry as Lacey1321, and you can find me on Instagram and Facebook as Hooked on Owls, all lowercase, one word. I know it hasn't been that long since my last upload. Last one's got pushed back a little bit due to holiday, of course. This one is actually getting moved ahead a little bit, at least the recording night is. It's technically only Thursday night, and I normally record either on Fridays or Saturdays. But Josh has extended time off for the holiday, and this is my only free night to record. So content might be not quite as much as like last week when I had so much extra time to get things done, but I do still have a decent chunk of things to share with you today. I hope you had a fantastic Christmas celebrating with friends and family. We actually hosted Christmas at our house this year, so everybody came here, and it was crazy. We had my mom and stepdad and Josh's grandparents all came over first thing in the morning, and we had all 5 kids with us, so we all opened presents together. And then my mom moved on to my uncle's house for their Christmas that afternoon, and Josh's grandparents left and came back later in the afternoon for dinner with us. They just wanted to be here for the first initial opening of presents with the children. But the older 2 did go to their dad's house, and we had ended up having, gosh, probably still a good 12 or 14 people at dinner with us. So we spent the whole day cooking. It was pecan rolls in the morning for breakfast and ham with all the trims for dinner. So it was pretty crazy. We had a good time. Everybody had fun. So the cleanup took 2 days, typical. So of course, now that we're all winding down from Christmas, we got to ring in the new year here pretty quick, which I don't know if anybody has any New Year's traditions. We actually just started one with my older 2 now that they're a little bit older. I do let them stay up and watch the ball drop. So they had a lot of fun with that last year. So this will be their second year getting to actually watch the ball drop. And I get some of the sparkling grape juice and some snacks and hats, and they don't get noisemakers because we have babies sleeping. But they still enjoy it. They have a good time. They think, obviously they think it's really cool. So let's go ahead and jump right in today. Start off with it in the spotlight. So in the spotlight today this is actually my first ever knit. Well, it's my first ever knit shawl, but more than that, it's actually my first ever real knit project. When I started knitting just a little bit ago, I did my swatch first, practice swatch, casting on basic garter stitch and stockinette stitch and things like that. And then I upgraded to a washcloth. And I did a washcloth, and then I jumped right in for a cal that was going on at the time, and I did a shawl. And this is the Be Simple shawl, and the pattern is by Carolyn, I'm gonna slaughter this last name, Carolyn Glaus Todrink. I'll put it right here. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. It's was pretty much one of the most simple ones I could find. I mean, it's literally called Be Simple Shawl. I'll insert a picture of it so I don't have to try and actually show you. Picture. Now, the pattern itself actually does call for a picot bind off, but seeing as how this was my first one, there will be no picot bind off on here. It's just nice and plain. This was done with, I believe it's ice yarns, Magic Light yarn. So the color changes are part of the yarn itself. There are a lot of random ones because I actually bought a bunch of this yarn to make another project with, a mermaid tail blanket, which my daughter has. So I just had like a bunch of little balls of yarn left over because you held 4 of them together. And I just took the 4 and kind of did a, what do they call them, a Russian join, and kept knitting with it. But it's got purple and turquoise, even though I don't like yellow and orange. It's got purple and turquoise. And it matches my shirt pretty good today. I'm not normally a rainbow person with the yellows and oranges, but I figure with the black and the turquoise, it kind of balances enough for me. Plus, it was my first knit shawl, so I have to. It holds a special place in my heart. Whether it's my favorite or not, there's tons of mistakes. I'm pretty sure I sewed up about like 3 or 4 drop stitches. But it's just for me, so it really doesn't matter. Because once it's all on, nobody's going to see it anyway. Fake it till you make it, right? So that's what's in the spotlight tonight. My Be Simple shawl. Okay, we're going to move right on to faux and hose because I do have a hoe today. I'm so excited. So, first finished object I got, I don't have. Last minute order before Christmas. A friend of mine whose mother loves homemade gifts and she also loves Santa's asked me to sort of replicate a picture she had sent me for this little crocheted amigurumi Santa, little gnome style with the hat that comes down over his eyes to his nose so you can't see his eyes. So I copied it as close as I could without a pattern, just kind of like free hand made a pattern to go with it, and he turned out pretty cute. She was real happy with him. Hopefully her mother liked him too. I haven't asked her. I probably should have. But I'll insert his picture here. And that was probably the first finished object I did since the last time we spoke. But I thought he turned out pretty cute. I had a lot of people said that they liked him. And then my next finished objects, I'm actually missing one. For Christmas, I decided last minute, because I'm really good at procrastinating, I decided last minute to make all of the kids something handmade from me, which I think we talked about that on the last episode too. I had no idea what to do. It needed to be quick and it needed to be, something I could make each one of them within a couple days. So by the time I actually started making them, I think it was on maybe Friday, Saturday. I think it was Friday night I started one. And I couldn't find one of the kids. I think Bryce and his little friends that were over today may have thrown his in the toy box somewhere. But I made them each a Christmas turtle. Because, nothing says Christmas more than a turtle, right? So this is Leo's. His is bright green and black with just kind of Minecraft colors. All the turtle shells have sparkles to make it a little more festive, I guess. I don't know. I just had some sparkle yarn that I wanted to use up, I guess. That one's Leo's. And this one is Abigail's. This is her 2 favorite colors. Very similar to Mother's. Blue and purple with some sparkles. This is actually a free pattern on Ravelry. It's by, and I'm really going to make a mess of this name. Where is it here? Yanina? Yanina? It gets worse. No offense. Schenkel? I'm going to write the name here so I can stop pretending that I can say it. It's actually the same person that, if you watch the Lottie and Albert podcast, Lindsay Nunes, she made this amazing dragon and unicorn for her 2 kids. And the dragon pattern is by the same pattern writer, by the same person. And this one's actually on Ravelry for free. The other one I want to say is part of a book. Same person though. It's really easy to follow, super fast. It only took me, I don't know, maybe 2 hours each. And that was with having to like get up and, you know, chase kids down kind of thing. I tried to do it mainly when they were asleep, so I could burn through one in about an hour and a half if I was feeling fast enough, I suppose. But there's Leo and Addie's. And then Bryce's is a darker blue, only slightly darker than Abby's. And he has this color shell, which is silver, and then it's got, I guess it's kind of a gray. And then it's got like a gold, pink, and blue flecks in it. Bryce loves blue. It's his favorite color. And then he also likes pink, which I couldn't help but laugh when I asked him why his 2 favorite colors were blue and pink. It's because it's the colors of cotton candy, and he loves cotton candy. He's so silly. But this one is Nikolai's. And then this one is Grayson's. I'm not sure. I had the hardest time with Grayson's. I actually had picked out the same blue as Abby's turtle. And then I was going to put black on him because I thought the blue-black combination would look awesome. Very eye-catching. And I started to make it. I just dropped on my paper. Started to make it. You see that blue circle there? That's the belly of Grayson's turtle. And then I made his head. I had it all ready to go. I had all the eyes and stuff made before I even started the turtles. I did all the eyes first. I actually used some sock yarn for the stitching, so it worked out nice. But I had his head done, and then I made his belly, and then I realized I had a very minimal amount of yarn left. And I didn't have enough to do his flippers or his tail. So, last minute, Christmas Eve, after I got all the presents out and Santa came to visit, and I took a picture of Santa at our Christmas tree. Look at this one. So after that was all said and done, I still had one more turtle to make. I still had to make Grayson's after the blue turtle debacle. So real quick, last minute, I just grabbed 2 colors that I thought looked halfway decent together after seeing Abby's and Leo's next to each other. And this is what Grayson got, which is okay because he likes the color purple anyway. But here's a picture of the turtles up in the tree. I just stuffed them each in the tree, one for each of the kids for them to find on Christmas morning. They absolutely loved them. They loved that they had colors, you know, specifically for each of them. And it was something special for them, from me specifically, that I took the time to make for them. And thankfully my kids do appreciate a handcrafted item. Josh's mom, the kid's grandma, she does a lot of handcrafted items too. She made both the twins Star Wars blankets with like a fleece backing on them, and they're so cool. We use them as their comforters now. They absolutely adore them. Nick's got a love of blankets. I had to like sneak some away from him because he will take them all and just cover up with every single one of them until he's like sweating. He doesn't even care. He just loves blankets. Whatever makes you happy, I guess. Now, after the turtles were finished, and Christmas was over. Oh my gosh, Christmas was so chaotic. I was up until probably 3, 4 o'clock Christmas Eve. And then we were up by, 7:30 with the kids and starting Christmas off. And I hadn't slept for more than like 3 to 6 hours of broken sleep every night for the last month or two, trying to get everything I needed to do done. And I ended up crashing at about 11 o'clock that night, which doesn't sound early to some people. But when you consider I normally stay up until about 1:30 to 3 o'clock every morning, it was very early for me. And I didn't even get out of bed. I think the boys actually woke up around like 9:30. So I laid in bed for another 10, 15 minutes. And that's when I finally got out of bed. But I needed that. It felt so good to get some rest. Little bit of a recharge, if you will. So I ended up, spending most of the next day cleaning. So like I said, not only has not a lot of time gone by, I really didn't have a whole ton of crafting time. I really wanted to do a Christmas Eve cast on. It was too busy. Which stinks, but I don't cast on projects anyway. So I am trying to work on finishing up some projects. I'm going to consider this a finished object, and the only reason I would say it's not technically finished is because I haven't washed it yet, so I haven't attached the palm. And I know I said I wasn't going to add a palm, but I did, or I'm going to once it's washed. So once it gets washed, I'm going to tie the palm down. And I did add a really pretty little flower and button to cover the non-existing hole, obviously. So I wasn't going to add the palm, but I could not find this color yarn that matched this that I had saved to make the flower. So I stole some other yarn that I have. Some really pretty, it's actually my H.O.O sock yarn. It's got pink and purple and turquoise flecks in it. So I made the flower with that, and then I took some of that, and of course afterwards I found the matching yarn, and I mixed it together to make a little pom-pom. So once this actually gets washed, I'll tie the pom-pom down, and the hat will be completely finished, which is exciting. That's all the completely finished objects I have. However, I do have a hoe, and I'm very excited because it's a witch's brew sock, which I was wearing a little bit, so it looks a little wonky, but I did a much, much better job with the toe this time, which you can't see because it's made with black yarn. You can see all the fuzz standing out on it, but it's not all janked up like it was last time, and you can see it better here. I did do the Kitchener stitch again, which I wasn't rushing, so that actually turned out quite lovely. Now, what I have noticed with the Kitchener and how my toes are shaped, like my second toe, I had to double check. My second toe was a bit longer than my first toe, and I have wide feet, so the sock does tend to pull a little bit, and then my second toe ends up being like in one of the points, and it makes it get like this shape like that. So I think what I'm going to end up doing to fix that situation is I'm actually going to start my Kitchener stitch back a little bit further. Instead of doing it at 12, maybe when I get to like 18, 16 on each side of the needles. That way it's a little longer. It'll actually go over the toe instead of popping up on it like that. Because, we all needed to hear about my weird feet. But I thought it turned out great. Like I said, I do have huge feet, so this is humongous. But this actually is kind of humongous. It is a little bit big, so I think once I make the other one, these are going to be more like a slipper, house sock, whatever you want to call it. They're comfortable though. When I did put them on, or I put this one on after I finished it and I went to wear it, I noticed that my feet are very dry. And my feet did not feel very knit sock worthy. So I did have to go buy a pumice stone and give myself a little pedicure so I feel better about wearing my hand knit socks. Does anybody else do that? Is that a weird thing to think? My feet aren't worthy. I need to make my feet worthy of my socks. Maybe I'm just weird like that. Or maybe I'm not alone. I don't know. I guess I never really asked anybody, are your feet knit worthy? Are they nice and soft and ready to wear handmade socks? So yeah, anyway, I was actually walking around in this one and my Hermione's sock because I have one of each now. I technically have a pair of socks. They look nothing alike because they're completely different socks, but I technically have made two socks, so that counts for something. A lot of adjustments will be made when I do my next set. I haven't decided what color I'm going to use yet. Maybe the Cheshire or the Punch Bug. I don't know. But I will be making a ton of adjustments on the next one. I am making the sister sock to this one the same, just so I could have a matching set to wear around the house. Like I said, they'll probably just be house socks, but I don't want them to be different. I'll make adjustments on my next sock. But that's all the finished objects and half objects I got. So we'll go ahead and move right into the whips, or works in progress. So I did cast on the second sock for my Witch's Brew sock, and I love that purple and black, and it makes me honestly just want to do purple and black socks. I might do that for Halloween next year. Do like knee-high striped purple and black, maybe with some green. Make some real witchy looking knee-high socks. But again, I just did the 2x2, and it's black, so it was hard to see. Like, I think working with black yarn is harder when you're crocheting because you have to look and actually see where you're putting your stitches. But it is still fairly difficult with knitting. So 2x2, and this is, again, it's just a nice plain vanilla sock. I am doing them again on the Hiya Sharp 40-inch magic loop style. I think I'm getting more used to it, in all honesty. It does still seem a little cumbersome, if you will, which makes me think of Benedict Cumberbatch. Anytime you hear anything cumber, automatically. But they do go fairly fast. I am actually using a fairly large needle size. I want to say it's a US 1.5. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure I wrote it in my projects page on Ravelry. But I am excited to have them done. I actually have a matching pair. I think I did this in just one evening. I started it yesterday. And I was supposed to go out after Josh got home from work at like 11 and pick up some baby wipes. And I can't remember whose podcast I found it through, but I found out that Stephen West had a podcast channel on YouTube. Oh my gosh. If you haven't seen Stephen West's YouTube channel, you need to go and watch it, because you will die laughing. You will pee your pants laughing at some of the amazingness, like the where can you knit videos. Oh my gosh. I just sat there and like laughed hysterically. I couldn't even knit. I put it down because I was laughing so hard. My boyfriend's just looking at me like, are you okay? I'm like, I can't breathe. Maybe it was extra funny because it was like 1 o'clock in the morning that I was sitting here. I couldn't even leave to go get what I needed at Walmart, which is literally around the corner from my house. I was just laughing too hard watching him. I'm probably going to end up watching more while I work on some other projects later tonight. I won't lie. It's hilarious. I have been working on the blanket. It's not done. It is a lot of work, but it actually looks like a blanket. The problem is I haven't tucked in any of the ends. It's slip stitch altogether. I prefer a whip stitch because I think it goes faster and uses less yarn, and it feels a little less crazy to do. Like, I probably could have like slid the yarn through instead of having to make a trillion more ends. But it's put together. I have to tuck in the trillion ends, and then I have to put the border on it. But after that, it's completely finished and it will be ready to ship. So here's what we got so far. If I can hold this up for you. Oh, look at all the pretty colors. This is a new look now. So, so I actually had it in a totally different color arrangement when I laid it out. And then Grayson and Nikolai decided to come in and start playing with the circles. So I kind of just started to grab them and attach them as I went, because I wanted to have at least a little bit done. But you still kind of get the colorful rainbow effect, I suppose. It's not quite as well organized as I had it with the color arrangement, but it's all connected. Once I realized the first one was out of order and I had already stitched it on, there was no way I was going back, because when I stitch, I try to attach as many pieces as I can with the one strand of yarn and keep going. And of course, that particular one that was out of place had like 4 other things attached to it as well. I wasn't doing it. So, a trillion ends on both sides. Trillions of ends. I'll probably watch a movie and tuck all those in later tonight. Maybe I'll do that. That'll be tonight's big project. Because then I just got to add the border. And that really only takes maybe an hour, depending on, I think you have to do just like a row of singles or doubles around. I can't remember. And then it has this cute little zigzaggy pointy border. But hopefully I'll be posting a picture of that one to Instagram soon. Almost done. And then it'll be shipped. It's got to get washed. I'm going to wash it with the hat when it's all done. It's still pretty squishy. Nice baby size. I think she'll like it. It's like a rainbow day. I did have one more work in progress. However, it got frogged. It was going to be my Christmas Eve cast on, but I didn't have time for that. So I think it was day after Christmas. I decided to take my H.O.O sock yarn, and I was going to wind it up and cast on a sock head hat, which if any of you follow my Instagram, you'll see how well that worked out. I don't have a Swift because I'm just now getting into the Hank style yarns, the hand dyed and all the pretties. And I didn't have a partner to help hold my yarn. And I thought to myself, well, I'll just hold it and I'll go very slow and be very careful. I'm sure you can all figure out what happened next. The yarn is really pretty. It's from the hat, the purple, the teal, the pink, and the white, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And it turned into this fabulous unicorn yarn barf that took me like almost 5 hours to untangle and wind. I actually ended up cutting it towards the end, and I just made a little mini skein and threw it in the pot back there because I was done. I had enough to make the hat, I'm sure. But the yarn actually almost looks prettier in the ball than it did in the skein, in my opinion. I adore the way this looks all wound up with everything overlapping, and I cannot wait to see it in the sock hat. I did start to cast it on the next day, so I don't know. I don't even know what day it is today. Today's Thursday. Christmas was Monday. I wound it Tuesday, Wednesday. So yesterday, I started the sock hat. I had gotten these needles. They're the Knitter's Pride Dreams. And I'd gotten them. The cord on them is a lot more, it's not as stiff as like the H.O.O Sharps. It's a lot more malleable, I guess you would say. But they are wood, so they are a little sticky. And I am a fairly tight knitter, I would say, just because they don't slide as well. So I do have another pair of the Knitter's Pride Dreams that I used for the headbands, but they were acrylic. So they worked real well. It was very, you know, everything slid real nice. It was a bulky yarn, and I liked them, so I figured with the shop I went to get these, they had a 20% off sale for the holiday. So I figured I'd give them a shot, but I don't know. I don't know if it was just because I was feeling rushed with the kids here, and I was, you know, attempting to relax, but I think I was like knitting very tight, or it could just be the combination of the wood with the kind of yarn this is. But I had a hard time even making it past the first row. So I was just going to push past, because we all know that the first couple rows can be the worst to work with, and especially if I could just relax and, you know, loosen up my stitches, loosen up my gauge. I figured it would be worth a try. But along the line somewhere, like 4 stitches fell off, and I wasn't about to try and fix that on the, you know, 3rd row, so I just ripped it all back and frogged it, and I'm going to start again. I would love to start tonight, but I'm going to make myself sit down, turn something on to watch, and tuck in the ends on that bad boy, because I want it done. I want it done. I want it shipped, especially because Kayla has been in and out of the hospital like 3 times now, because baby girl keeps wanting to come early. So I want it done, and I want it to her to have. This will be cast on by the next podcast, though, I'm sure. And the next sock should be finished too. But that's everything I really currently have on my hook and needles right now. So not a whole lot. Just trying to get caught back up, or finish up, wrap up a couple loose ends, if you will. But yeah, I did get those needles. The shop, we have a local one. I normally go to my local shop. It's pretty much my favorite shop. I absolutely love the one in Bay City, the one called A Piece of You, which I've talked about a couple times. I normally go there, but I did stop by the one here in Caro, and that one is called Back Alley Fibers. And the woman that runs it is very nice. She's very helpful. They had a 20% off store-wide sale to get rid of inventory before the new year. So I did get that set of Knitter's Pride Dreams, and I did also get a second set, 40-inch of the size 8. And I picked these up to go with the Isla wrap, I think is what it was called, that I wanted to start. But now I'm really nervous that I'm not going to like them for it. So I guess I'm going to try them out a little bit real quick and see if I like them. If not, I might just return them and go buy some H.O.O or something. I feel like they're not as sticky as the, I'm not sure how you say it. I keep saying H.O.O, but I know that's not right. Is it H.O.O? H.O.O, I think is how you say it. And those have more of a grip to them. I think it's because those are bamboo. And I want to say the Knitter's Pride Dreams are birch. I don't think it says on the package, but I think they're a birch. And they are polished quite nice. I don't know. But one thing I did notice here, here's the website, and they have a Facebook and everything. You can see that. It focuses. They do have, check this out. I'll throw the card. It's a needle inventory chart on the back of their business card. So you can go through and check off what US size needle you have compared to if it's a straight needle, the inch of that, DPNs or circular 16 inch, circular 24, 32, and 40 inch. So you can have like a little inventory, so when you go in, you can be like, oh, I needed this set of needle for this project, and you pull it out and be like, okay, I have that one, I need this one, and you can just kind of keep track, which is great, because I was telling her, I can't remember which ones I have and which ones I don't have, because I just started collecting. So it worked out well. I stole one of those. I didn't really steal it, it's a business card. It was given to me, obviously. So yeah, I guess that would be part of my stash enhancement. I don't have a whole lot of stash enhancement this week, mainly because it's only been a week and I've been, well, week and a half and I've been busy. No, it really pretty much only has been a week, hasn't it? But I totally left them in the other room. For Christmas, I was given gift certificate and gift card, and I'm very excited. Josh's grandma and grandpa got me a gift certificate to a PCU in Bay City, so I get to go there. I think I'm going on a trip Saturday to town. Yeah, I think I'm going to go on a trip Saturday to town. Stop there and spend that on something phenomenal, because the yarn's amazing. And then I'm going to zoom over to Saginaw, where they have Joann's. There's one closer, but it's not as big. So I'm going to go to the Joann's in Saginaw. And Josh's brother got me an awesome gift card to Joann's. So I'm going to go spend a ton of money at Joann's. And then there is a Target in Saginaw too, I believe. We lost the one in Bay City, which is where the other yarn shop is. It just closed down. But Saginaw still has a Target, and I want to say Taylor from Fiber for the People yarn, she said that Target carries that Tazo tea, that glazed lemon loaf, and the vanilla bean macaroon, I believe. The dessert line of the Tazo tea. So I'm taking a trip to Target, and I'm going to go see if I can find these dessert teas, because I miss them. They were so good. I didn't know they existed, and I need more of them in my life desperately. So I'm going to get some more of those if Target has it. Now the goal is to walk into Target and go to the tea section and look for tea. And if they don't have it, to turn around and walk out. But it's Target. So we all know I'm going to be there for like 2 hours looking at everything, because it's Target. But the goal is to go there for tea and then go to Joann's. Maybe if I go there first, I'll be in a rush to get to Joann's, because I'll be so excited to go spend my gift card that I'll get out of there quicker. Thinking. Planning ahead. That's what you gotta do. So as you know, I didn't take part in the Vlogmas, mainly because I was just starting podcasting as is, and with little ones and Christmas and everything, it was just too much for me to even think about taking on. But I really did enjoy watching a lot of Vlogmases, and I actually started watching a few more podcasters because of their Vlogmas would pop up, and I'd watch that, like Ellie from Skein Deer Knits. She's amazing. Her Vlogmas had popped up, so I ended up finding her podcast, which I've heard about through Katie and Amy, because they're friends with her. But I did end up starting to watch her podcast as well. Her color work is phenomenal. I have zero, what's the word? I have zero faith that I could pull anything off like that. Maybe someday in the future. But she's amazing. And she's just so sweet, and she's very calming. Which I don't watch a lot of calming people. Most of the time I watch the very peppy, in-your-face people like Lee, because she's amazing. But I do enjoy her podcast. She's very talented, for sure. She wore this knit dress in one of her Vlogmases. That's a knit goal. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you've seen that. It's like blue with the red and the white colorwork yoke, and it's so stinking pretty. Knitting hero right there. And then I also, okay, I know everybody talks about a homespun house and Molly from a homespun house. Her Vlogmas is the first time I actually watched her, and her husband Robert, oh my gosh, he is hilarious. So watching their Vlogmases and their interactions made me really start to, this is weird to say, but you really start to kind of feel like involved in like a connection towards these people. The more you watch them, the more a part of their life you feel, which sounds really invasive and creepy, but in a total heartfelt, I enjoy watching kind of way. That just sounds worse. This is not getting any better. Anyway, their Vlogmases I enjoyed, so I started watching her podcast as well, and she's fantastic. That just got weird. Another one is Brooklyn Knit Folk. She's very relatable. I like her a lot, and her quilts that she did for her Vlogmas, gorgeous, very gorgeous. And then another one I found through Vlogmas was Tiny Human Knits. I've only watched a couple of the Vlogmas and maybe like 1 or 2 podcasts of hers so far, but she's pretty sweet. Her paperclip earrings crack me up every time I see them. I actually used to wear safety pins in my ears when I was younger, and that's what it makes me think of. I just adore it. But she does dye her own yarn too, which I'll see if I can't put the information on here for you. But she has this one called page 394. It's pretty fantastic. Anything Harry Potter related or Game of Thrones related, or you know, anything like that, Vikings, I'm automatically going to enjoy and adore. Doctor Who, you know, give me all the colorways for Doctor Who, Game of Thrones, Harry Potter. I'll take one of everything when, you know, I win the lottery. But yep, so I definitely enjoyed watching all of those podcasts recently. I do keep my eyes out for any more, because I know there's a ton of podcasts out there that I just haven't found yet. I'm sure I've probably watched a good 3 or 4 other ones that I'm just, you know, not remembering off the top of my head. But I probably, you know, subscribe to them, so they would be in my channels on my page if you wanted to check them out too. Okay. So now that we're all done with that blathering, let's talk about the Not Cal that I mentioned at the end of last episode. It's, like I said, more of a New Year's resolution. A while back, I don't remember if it's on my actual Instagram or my personal Instagram. I think it was on my personal Instagram. Last year, 2 years ago, after I'd had the twins. It had been last year. After I had the twins and I was healed up from, you know, the C-section and everything. I was walking. I started in spring, you know, shortly after they were born. And I would go push the stroller around and go for walks all the time. And when I wasn't able to get outside, if it was too hot or too cold, or I just hadn't been able to make it outside for whatever reason that day, I would get on the treadmill that I have at home. I did get very into it, and I very much enjoyed it, to the point where I actually had lost all 62 of the baby weight, 62 pounds of the baby weight that I had gained with the twins, but I had lost all the baby weight that I had gained. Unfortunately, when I got into knitting and I had a ton of orders and things I had to get caught up on, I just kind of sat down every chance I had to get back into what I needed to do. But on my Instagram last year, when I was really into the eating healthy and the not even so much working out, I just walked. Sometimes it was fast. Occasionally I would jog, but it's mostly just walking. And I would, with my Fitbit, make sure I hit my 10,000 steps a day, drink my water, and I was doing really good. And I was very happy with my progress. And I just kind of let myself slide back. But I actually, even though I had a ton of orders, I would take my smaller orders and like put them in a bucket of something I was working on, put the yarn in the bucket, and get on my treadmill and watch Miranda because she's hilarious. And I would, watch something on my Kindle and crochet while on the treadmill. I did quite a few projects while on the treadmill, actually. So what I want to do to get myself back into that motivation for 2018, I want to do, I'm going to give you a hashtag here. You ready for this? It's going to be Knit to Fit 2018. And that's the number 2. Knit to Fit 2018. Hashtag. So what my goal is with this hashtag for my New Year's resolution is anytime I'm working on a small project, so probably a selfish knit, if you will. Anytime I find something I want to work on, like this, a plain sock. I got one or, find a stretch where I'm going to be working with one ball of yarn. I'm going to get on the treadmill with it. And I'm going to just walk while I have this. I gotta find a project bag that has like a handle. Those like the wrist ones that you can get. They have like the strap and kind of hangs down, and I can just hang it on the handlebar of the treadmill there. Put on Spotify or Pandora, whatever you listen to, and just knit while I walk. Because it's not like I have to worry about running into a pole or anything if I'm on my treadmill. I can just go and actually still focus on what I'm doing. But I figure not only will that keep me moving and help me get my steps that I need in for the day, it'll also give me that time to work on my selfish knits, my socks and things that I really want to do, but I can still be productive instead of just sitting here probably eating chocolate and drinking chai lattes and all sorts of delicious things that I don't terribly need right now. So yeah, if you want to join me in my Knit to Fit 2018 hashtag, like I said, it's not really a cal. What I want to do is I'm going to track, basically just track my steps and everything with my Fitbit. So I will put in my Fitbit email in the or not really show notes, but in the information bar below. I'll put in my email. I might not put it in there actually. I'll probably put it over in the Ravelry group. I'll put my email. We'll start like a specific group page for this in the Ravelry group, where we can put each other's, Fitbit emails if you have a Fitbit and you want to track and join that way and start challenges that way with each other. And, just put your email over in there and we can, send out friend requests and join up, and hopefully we can get a couple people doing this with us, stay a little more motivated. Yes, it sounds difficult to craft and walk, but it's really not as hard as you would think. I did a Detroit Red Wings octopus while I was on the treadmill. I'll insert some pictures. There's probably quite a few pictures of me doing it because it was my big thing was to crochet and knit on the, not even walk, like mall walk speed sometimes. But I'd crochet and get on the treadmill, and I did it almost every night for a long time. Obviously, I'll still, try and go for walks outside and push the stroller with the boys when it gets nice again. But it was -1 degrees here the other night when I went out. That's Fahrenheit. So it was really cold. For anybody that speaks Celsius, is really cold. But yeah, so that's what that's all about. Depending on how well the Ravelry group does, if we do Facebook or Fitbit groups and things like that, we may eventually try to do like a end of the year goal, or like an end of the year award, or like a 3 or 6 month award prize kind of thing. Give you something to work towards, keep you a little motivated, keep me a little motivated. We'll see how that goes. It'll be too hot. I'll have all sorts of excuses. I'm terrible. I'm so lazy. I just want to sit and knit and eat chocolate. Is there anything wrong with that? I mean, really? Or that I can't hardly fit in my pants anymore? That's what leggings are for, right? Whatever. Other than that, more New Year's resolutions. Personally, we're gonna talk about New Year's resolutions, because even though I'm recording this on Thursday, I'm gonna release it probably. I might do it on Saturday. Probably Sunday like my normal time. So New Year's Eve. So New Year's resolutions day is what this is. I should have put on a New Year's hat. I have some in the closet. So continuing with the New Year's resolution theme, I want to do the Knit to Fit 2018 hashtag along. I don't know what you call it. Hashtag Knit to Fit 2018 along. We'll go over that later. I don't know. We'll call it something else. Maybe we can give it a proper name at some point. So other than that, my other New Year's resolutions personally would be, I want to make 2 sweaters this year. That's my goal. I know it seems minimal compared to a lot of people, but I do want to knit them. And I've never knit a big garment. Like I said, this was like my first real knit project. This was just a couple months ago in the fall. September, I think it was. So I do want to knit 2 sweaters. And I don't know which ones I want to do. I know I like the pavement and the So Faded Cardi, and there's a bunch of other ones that I really like. It could be a cardi, could be a pullover. I haven't decided which ones yet. But 2 is my goal for 2018. And then I also want to do 5, I think I said. Yeah, I want to do at least 5 other wearable items. Now, like I said, I know these amounts seem small, but I do also do some commission orders and things like that. So I want to make sure I leave a decent amount of time to be able to do those other things, crochet-wise. If I want to, we got lots of babies coming up pretty soon, so I have blankets and other things I want to make for them. But I do want to also make 5 wearable items for myself. That would probably be, one of them be the Isla wrap. I do want to make a hat or 2 for myself. Oh, speaking of hats, there's this Anchors Away hat pattern that I found on Ravelry. I'm probably going to make, it's a color work. It's like 2 colors. But you have your main color, and then you have your secondary color that goes through and puts little anchors around the hat, which I adore. So what I want to do is do a cheapo little acrylic version first to see if I can do it, figure it out, and I'll probably just give that one to my son. He's losing hats and is rough with them, and they get all disgusting and dirty, so he's not getting an expensive one, but I'll make an acrylic version of that first to see if I can get the hang of it, and then I'll probably adjust the pattern and make one for myself. I'm not a big hat person, but if it's got anchors on it, I'd probably want to wear that. So that might be one of the wearables I do. I'm not sure what else I might do, but it could be another sweater if I have time for another wearable, but just, it could include shawls, socks, wraps, sweaters, hats, anything accessory-wise that I can wear, or main garment-wise. So those are my main knitting and crochet goals for 2018. If I have time, I would not mind designing another amigurumi or two. I do have a couple that I've done over at Ravelry, but not many. I've done, what, my mermaid, alien, unicorn, my owls. And I do have my old owl pattern up there with the button eyes. Maybe I'll work on rewriting up that one and add the medium version of that as well. But yep, so if I have time, I would love to write up a couple more amigurumi patterns. Another goal I have for 2018 with the podcast, this is mainly a podcast related one. With all the wearables and stuff I have going on, I would like to run some cals along with that, or mals, whichever you'd prefer to call it, because they would be either crochet or knit, seeing as how this podcast is for both. I'm hoping to do at least 3 to 4, depending on what it is. You might want, a 3-month window or whatever to make a sweater. So the goal is to do at least 3 or 4 of those, but I am hoping to get more of a subscriber base before we even are concerned with that, because it's not so much fun when you only have 5 people doing it out of the however many subscribers you have. So the more subscribers you have, hopefully the more people will get involved in those. So once we do get more subscribers to the channel, we will definitely start the new year off hopefully with a cal. Once we do hit our first 100 subscribers, we'll be doing a giveaway for that, just for hitting. And then we'll also do another one at 500 subscribers, and again at 1,000. Just kind of a, benchmark goal line. So feel free to share the podcast so we can get our subscriber base up so we can start doing giveaways and cals. Because I want 2018 to be a year of giveaways and cals. I want to at least participate, even not in my own, but at least maybe 2 other podcasters' cals this year too. Like, I want to be cal crazy for 2018. Maybe I'll name this episode Cal Crazy for 2018. That looked ridiculous. Yeah. I want to be all up in the cal. Want to be all up in that cal action this year. Oh yeah. So those are my goals for myself, my knitting, and the podcast for 2018. I'm going to start a little thread in the Ravelry group as well, or even on here, leave a comment. Let me know, what are your goals for 2018? Do you have a goal that you would like to do with the podcast? Is there, a specific kind of cal that you're looking forward to doing or that you would like to try? I know there's a couple that are out there doing like brioche, which that looks intimidating. Maybe I'll try that too this year. Mittens and socks and, scarves and sweaters and all sorts of different things. What kind of cals do you want to do? What are your personal goals? What are your knitting and crochet goals for 2018? But I think that pretty much wraps us up for the day. So thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And again, like I said, spread the word. Start sharing the podcast, blip it on Instagram. Put it on Twitter. I don't have a Twitter, but put it on there. Put it on Facebook, wherever you can. Start spreading the word about the podcast so we can start getting some cals and giveaways and all that good stuff going. Because let's face it, that's really what we're all here for anyway. And the whole point of this podcast, or podcasting in general, is to feel connected to the yarny community. So, that's how we do it, right? Giveaways and make-alongs, things like that are what connect us and bring us together. And with that, I'm going to call it a wrap. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Have a great new year. So we'll move straight on. Now I gotta stop saying so. So. No. So fo ho. Skills. Where am I at? I have a really big head, and hats look awful on me. Happy